Hey, good morning and welcome to Yeshiva YouTube. Just Daf It. Today's Daf is Nedarim, Daf Ayin Hey number 75, starting new Mishnah in the middle of the Daf. About being made for Nedarim before your wife's Nedarim, before she actually makes them. Does it work? Does it not work? How does it work? How does it not work? We'll discuss that and various other permutations in the regular Daf share and also in the special Eon Ben Sion 8-minute Ian share, which follows this share. The Mishnah says, Omer Ishto, the middle of Ayin Ham and Aleph, Omer Ishto, Kol Hanadorim Shetaduri Mikana Javam Makom Ploni. He's going away for a while. He's going for business. He's gone to Las Vegas, some conventions over there. Any Nadarim that you make, Ajav Makom Ploni or Ein Kayamim. I affirm them. I don't like you. I'm going to guy in the Nadarim. Or I don't like our marriage. Lomer Klum. It's not effective. Harein Mufarin. If he says that he's made for the Nadarim, Reblezer Omer Mufar, it works. We'll see exactly how it works in the Gemara. The Chacham Eno Mufar doesn't work. Now, we learned earlier in the Gemara that the Gemara had a question. You have to actually hear Nadarim, right? So this factors in prominently over here. So it seems from the Maskan of the Gemara says that the only problem with hearing is an Ashes Cherish. If she's married to a man who is deaf. If he's deaf, right, he can never hear Nadarim. So therefore, like the Gemara says, Reb Zera says, Kol Sheroy Labila Bila Makeves, but Shein Roy Labila ain't Bila Makeves, but sorry, Kol Sheroy Labila ain't Bila Makeves, Kol Shein Roy Labila Bila Makeves, but meaning basically that since he can't hear at all, he's precluded from hearing entirely, so therefore hearing makes a difference. The fact that he can't hear means he can't be made for Nadarim. However, a regular person who could hear, even though it technically doesn't hear, it would work. So that seems to be Maskana of the Gemara. So according to Rebbe, he doesn't have to actually hear the Nadarim. It could work right now, seemingly, by saying it, even though she didn't make the Nadarim yet. When she makes another, it works. The Gemara will discuss exactly how it works. The Chum disagree. We pass the Chum anyway. Eno Mufra doesn't work. Right? Darim, which started as an Isser, she made an Eder. Now she's Usser, right? And then he's able to revoke that or to block it. I like to say to block the Neder. Certainly, you can make for Nadarim that didn't come to Isser, meaning he makes a statement before she takes the Neder, precluding the Neder, seemingly. It's a culture game. Amrulo, the Rabbanan said back to him, Omer, Isha Yikmenam Isha Yifrenu, Eshabal Kal Hekem Malakal Hefer, Lo Bal Hekem Lo Bal Hefer. The Torah makes a comparison, a hekesh, a juxtaposition in Torah between the two types of ways of dealing. The husband dealing with a neder. He can't be Mekayim. Even Rabbi Elazar's Moda, he agrees he can't be Mekayim a neder before it was made. The simple reason being that the Kol Shekain of Rabbi Elazar doesn't stand in that case because, right, in order to affirm a neder, it has to be made already. You can't affirm something that doesn't exist yet. To block something from, preclude something from existing may be easier than blocking it once it already happened. But to affirm something that's not in existence yet, you can't do. So therefore, since you can't do hekem, you can't do hefer also. According to Belezer, people who love Rav Chaim Brisker's over here, this is a Rav Chaim Brisker type of question, or Ben Sealing type of question, right? Again, the age of millennials over here. We're not talking about Rav Chaim Brisker. I don't know how far you go back. I mean, I only know about Generation X and baby boomers. My parents were baby boomers. I don't know what before that was called. Maybe it was called. They were called the 19th century, or I don't know. Chaim Brisker lived in the 1800s, I believe. When he makes, earlier says you can make for the Nadarim, right? You're going to Las Vegas. You live in New York City. You live in Flatbush. You're making big money. The kids live in Lakewood. You're paying for their houses. They're earning in PMG. Good Hamish family. But you got business. You got to support your daughters and your sons who are learning for the rest of their lives. You got to pay for their houses. You got to pay for their grocery bills. You got to pay for their shopping sprees when they go and they buy designer clothing for themselves and for their kids, of course. So with matching clothes. So you have to go to your business convention in Las Vegas. You gotta, I mean, you're worth maybe a couple $1 million. You gotta up it a little bit. Maybe one of those multi-million dollars, 10 million, 15, 20, $100 million. Maybe you'll make Forbes list one day. So you gotta go to these conventions. So you go, and your wife, she is the type that, she's one of those cooking. She has nothing to do with her time because you're making all the money. She just sits around the house. Well, she had an empty nest over there, and she's busy with cooking and making elaborate recipes because she tunes into kosher.com. Maybe she's even writing her own cookbook to keep herself busy. So, but because she's around food so much, it's hard for her to resist. So she's on a strict diet now. She's gonna take Nadarim when you're in Las Vegas. Some serious Nadarim. She's only gonna eat whole wheat. She's only gonna eat. She's going vegan. So, by the way, it's a Mechal Chalim B'Taylor Oidam Lo Chalim Klal. When he says before he leaves to Las Vegas, he says, I don't want an Nadarim. I don't want to make for your Nadarim. According to Belezer, that it works, right? Does it mean that the neder she makes when she says, I'm going to be a vegan, doesn't work at all? Or maybe it works for a second. According to the Torah, Tokide Dibur is Kedibur Dami. The Gemara in Bava Kama says it's about 3 seconds. The time that you say to someone, you say to your Rebbe, you say to your Rebbe, Shalom Arecha Rebbe Umori, Rebbe or Rebbe Umori, 3 seconds or 4 seconds. Might have Kamina. What's a practical difference? The Gemara says that I am a biz. Kigon Tav I am a biz. Going to Itfis Achrina Bahadein Nidra. Right? Someone's sitting next to your wife as a friend, right? She's standing next to your wife. Your wife says, that's it, I'm going vegan. And the woman's next to her, someone else's wife, says, I'm also going vegan. I'm attaching my nether to your nether. If you say that her nether, the first woman's nether is chal, have it fesusa. So the second one can attach her nether, right? Va'ani, she says, me also. Her nether can attach to the first one, and the second one's nether is chal. Obviously, the first one, after Toki the Dibor, is batel. But if you say it's not chal at all, so then no one can attach their own nether to it. Tashma Amar Lezer. Right. We see this language of Lezer in the Mishnah. He proves that he can make for Nadarim even before they start. Right? From his language that he uses, it didn't come to Isser, meaning they never chal. So the Gemara responds, no, Mikasani she'enan boyin, shelo bo kasani, adayin lo bo. It doesn't say she'enan boyin, they'll never come, right? They don't come, they don't start. Shelo bo, they don't come to remain as an Isser. But they did start, and then they're around for Toki de Dibur, and then they're batel. So it's possible that's what it means. Tashmas, the Gemara hasn't proved either way yet. I'm 100 Belezer, Makom. Another reasoning of Rabbi Lezer. Makom she'ein mefer nidrei atzmo mishenadar mefer nidrei atzmo ad shelo yidor. When it comes to his own nidar, we learn in the Gemara and Daf Chav Beis or Chav Gimel. Basically, like we learned, you can say on Yom Kippur, Rosh Hashanah, any nidar that I make this year, I'm going to mevatel right now, right? If he makes a neder himself, he can't be made for his own neder. But before he makes a neder, right, he could. Right, he makes that tonight. He can make that tonight. When it comes to his wife, he can make for the neder even after she made it. And then she offered nidra yishto tidor. Certainly, he can be matir or made for her neder before they even start. My love, the ishto dum yadile, isn't his wife just like him? Mahu. Right, this is what Lezer obviously meant. Who delo chaylet. When he makes the Tanai, and he says on Rosh Hashanah, on Yom Kippur, any Nadar that I make this year are not going to be chal, he makes a stipulation, right? A stipulation of Tanai means the Nadarim didn't even start. When he makes them, they weren't chal at all. And also, similarly, his wife, he compares it to us. So his wife's Nadarim that he made her before they make it, before she makes it, they're not chal at all. The Gemara rejects this. Lo, hakadisa. It's just a basic comparison to his Nadarim to his wife's Nadarim. However, it's possible that they work in different ways, right? When he's made for the wife's nadarim before they start, so that could be their chal, because that's hafara, as opposed to, we'll talk more about this tomorrow, in terms of when he makes a tanai, that's really hataras nadarim, where tanai, maybe not hataras nadarim, it's a stipulation. He's basically saying, when I make nadarim, I'm masna, that I don't want them to be nadarim. So anytime he opens his mouth and says neder, it never got off the ground, so it's like a tanai. It's not exactly like hafara. Tashma Amrulo, another sampling of rhetoric of Rebbe Lezer. Amrulo Rebbe Lezer, they said to the Chum said to Rebbe Lezer, mikvah shemales atzmein mitumasan. When you go in a mikvah on your tameh, you become tar. Ein meitzal al tar milatame. However, the other way around doesn't work. If you're in a mikvah and you grab a sheretz, right? You take shmona shratzim, you take one of the shmona shratzim, you take a mouse into the mikvah, right? And you're in the mikvah, it doesn't help you. Adam shein malas atzmein mitumasan. However, when it comes to a person, right? If he swallows a ring, that's tameh, right? A person is considered a tar thing. A person's tar as long as he doesn't have too much haguf. If he swallows something, it's tameh, and then he regurgitates it, it's still tameh. So certainly it should be that if he can't swallow something, he's a tar body and swallow something tummy and make it like a mikvah tar, right? Certainly he shouldn't be able to be meitzil al tahor if he swallows a tar ring and then he goes into a tent which has a corpse in that tent, right? Oh well, there's a mace, right? Certainly he shouldn't be able to be matil, right? His body shouldn't act as the chatzitza from the oel, and it should be matame the ring in his body that he swallows his wife's diamond ring to make sure she doesn't lose it when she does Netilas Yadayim. A very unfortunate story yesterday. One of my wife's sisters was washing her hands for Netilas Yadayim for Shabbos meal, and she lost her diamond ring because she took it off. I told my wife, I said, listen, don't take off your diamond ring when you wash your hands. We learned Hilchos Netilas Yadayim. It's very little basis to say it's a chatzitza, especially if water can get underneath the ring. Even minimally, it can get underneath the ring. Certainly it's not a chatzitza. You don't want to take off your ring. You want to wear your ring, you know. But say you have dough on your hand, that's a chatzitza. Or you have dirt on your hand, you don't want that on your hand. But a ring, you want it on you. You want to show everyone your ring. It's not a chatzitza. Even if the water doesn't get under, and certainly if the water gets underneath, a little loose. You don't have to take off your ring for washing. Don't be a machmir. You know, and also it's a miyut. Even if you want to say it's a chatzitza, there's three reasons. Miyut she'eno makbid. A miyut makbid is only derabanan, right? Even if you're makbid, if you want to say it's a peda, that it's something you don't want on your hand, it makes no sense. But miyut makbid is only derabanan. Until it's derabanan, gzeir lo gazri, right? Lo gazrin and gzeir lo gzeir. You don't make two derabanans together; they don't go together. A lot of reasons they make up, but she, like most women, take off their diamond ring. Unfortunately, she lost her diamond ring. So the husband is smart. He says, every time my dear wife, that you want to be machmer on taking off your ring until this time, I'll swallow your ring. And therefore, it'll be in my body. And then when I go to the bathroom, I'll have your diamond ring. Next time, he wants to make sure. So, I mean, it's a sad story that she lost her diamond ring, you know. It's expensive, diamond rings, you know. Her mother-in-law was there also. She said, I'm not buying you another diamond ring. Reiterating it. So if he swallows the ring, right? So and he's an oil on mace, so certainly, right, he can't protect it from becoming tummy. But the halacha is not like that. The halacha is that if it's in his body is chotzetz and doesn't become tummy. If it's a Torah ring and he swallows it, you can go into oil on mace, you can go into a cemetery, it's not going to be matame it. Shemamina lo chaylen. So therefore, the Rabbanan are basically saying, just like when it comes to Tuma and Tara, you can't compare two different cases, right? You can't compare two different halachas. You aren't making a comparison, making a comparison between, Afara, right? That's what this comparison, what? If she makes a neder, I can be made for the neder. Certainly, before she makes the neder, I can be made for it, but it didn't even come to Isra. Right? The Rabbanan is saying, look at Tuma and Tara. These halachas don't always make sense. You can't make a kol shekain so easily like that. When it comes to Tuma and Tara, right? If you're going to mikvah, right, the mikvah is matahar you. If you're holding a sheretz, it's not matahar you, right? And the other way, when it comes to swallowing a ring, right, you should think that, right, when you go into a mikvah, your tummy going to a mikvah, right? It's matar. You swallow a tamei ring. It doesn't help. It's not like a mikvah. So you should say kol shekain when I swallow a Torah ring and I go into all a mace, right? It should be matame, but it's not matame, right? And it's the opposite by the mikvah where you're holding the sheretz, right? Then you remain tamei. It's not matar. So you can't make kol shekains and halacha like this. It's not really comparable. Obviously, it is comparing tuma to afaras and darim, but the one is saying you can't learn kol shekains from seemingly things, right? Which basic idea is that preventative measures um, can't be compared to when the tumor is actually present or when the neder is actually present. So you can't compare before, preventing a neder to removing a neder. It's like you can't compare preventing tuma from removing the status of tuma. That's the conclusion of today's shir. The discussion is not finished, obviously. We're going to have to aim a seifa. The Gemara continues, Ayin Vamanal, aim a seifa. The Gemara is still trying to figure out what the shita of Rabbi Lezer is. Elazar's shita, right? The Gemara's question Elazar's shita. We don't pass like Rabbi Lezer, but the Gemara is really dealing with Elazar's shita. That's the question of the Gemara. According to Rabbi Lezer, do we say it's not chal at all the neder, or do we say that it's chal momentarily and it's batel? I will give you my explanation of what the two studim are in Rabbi Lezer. That's what the Gemara discusses. Based on what we've been talking about last two shiurim, based on the shita of Pinchas Sheda Rava, Kolam Deres as Baila, Deres, you have to examine where this statement of Rava really applies only according to Rabbi Lezer. The Gemara seems to only be using it according to Rabbi Lezer. Or maybe tomorrow we'll discuss, maybe even applies according to their bottom. But today I want to discuss the two sides of Rabbi Lezer Shita. Stay tuned, Ian Ben Sion come up next.